Death Stranding is a phenomenal game, a game that I personally ignored for over a year. I don't make a habit of being too pushy with my game reviews usually, but this one made an impact on me. If you're watching this video, then I suspect you're one of three types of people. 1. You played it and you want to tell the world what you went through. 2. You ignored it like I did and you're wondering if you should finally pay attention. And 3. You're curious, bored or looking for something new to get into. Tell me I'm wrong. To the first type of person, stick around. I know why you want to talk about your experience and I hope I'll do the game justice here in this review. To the second two types of people, I'm going to make a case for why you should consider Death Stranding. I'll take a guess about why you haven't played it yet and I'll try to convince you why you may have made the wrong decision, just like I did. I'd like to say I don't know why I didn't play this on release, but I do. You see, when the first reviews came out for Death Stranding, they were pretty polarising. The art direction and ambition behind the game were never disputed, but some said that the gameplay itself was boring, frustrating, long-winded and involved a lot of micromanagement. Let me read you a couple of quotes, and then I want to offer my own thoughts. Quote, "It's clearly not well suited to young teenage gamers due to its repetitive and dull gameplay which lacks the fun, but it's also not very intelligible to a grown-up audience whose knowledge of numerous cultural symbols is quite limited." Quote, "Death Stranding is absolutely crazy. It's also inexplicably brilliant. However, it's difficult to call a masterpiece since its slow and boring gameplay sometimes feels just too frustrating." Now, being honest, I let myself be swayed by statements like those. I'm usually more of a combat guy. I have to be in a certain frame of mind to look deeper, to stop my habitual need for immediate gratification and let myself feel. When I'm gaming, I usually need the payoff of brutal combat and character development to sate my ever-growing and shameful level of impatience. But having now played the game, I'm happy to say that I disagree with the statements I read out, wholeheartedly. I'm not criticising the writer at all. In fact, I've left a link in the description to the article. It's actually really good. But those opening comments, in my opinion, are wrong and misleading, and I want to challenge them. If you're anything like me and you allowed yourself to be put off by the initial reports, stick with me for a few minutes while I tell you about my own experience with the game. In this review, I'll talk about the gameplay, the mechanics in the game. I'll tell you the basics of the story setting without going into any story spoilers. I will also show off some of the gameplay to help dispel some of the myths surrounding this game. There will be some minor gameplay spoilers on that part, but I feel that I need to showcase some parts of the game in order to make my point. Toward the end, I will conclude with some thoughts on who might enjoy this game, some comparison to other games in terms of the feeling you might get, and the sort of mindset you want to be in to get the most out of Death Stranding. If you enjoy the video or find it useful, please take a moment to let me know with a like or comment. Okay, here we go. The basic story setting of Death Stranding is set in an apocalyptic United States, where a cataclysmic event known as the Death Stranding caused BTs, which are invisible yet highly dangerous creatures, to appear. The opening story cutscenes are incredible, and the game sets a scene of horror, mystery, violence and helplessness. BTs cause explosions, known as void-outs, when they consume the dead, and they produce a rain known as timefall, which rapidly ages and deteriorates whatever it touches. As a result, the country's infrastructure is wrecked. Communities have holed up and live in their own tiny bubbles, relying on porters to brave the wilds, the BTs, bandits and terrorists, to make vital deliveries and help keep those communities alive. This is where you come in. You play the character of Sam, a lowly porter with his own incredibly deep backstory, which you will uncover as you progress through the game. One thing I loved about Sam is that right from the beginning he resonates with a sense of loneliness. You can tell from even the earliest cutscenes that he is an imperfect and utterly broken hero, uncomfortable with human warmth and closeness, but you won't find out why unless you show patience. Uncovering Sam's past and unravelling the mysteries of the BTs was one of the initial things that pushed me through my first hours of the game. Death Stranding presents so many mysteries that anyone with a decent sense of curiosity will be dying to find out more about this world. Sam's story is just the beginning. There are other characters in the game and plot twists you won't believe, which of course I won't go into. One mystery is the bridge babies, known as BBs, which are used to help porters sense the presence of BTs. Again, there is a vast story here which I'll leave you to uncover for yourselves. In terms of the gameplay, early on, yes, there is an element of frustration and struggle and helplessness. This is deliberate. The long journeys on foot are fraught with danger, and your only way to progress is to fight through the initial sense of bewilderment. The payoff is worth it though. When you control Sam, amidst the backdrop of the horror and the immense story, you are beset with challenges that seem so mundane when written down. Things like, how the hell do I get over that hill with all this on my back? Will I find a pathway on the other side, or catch a glimpse of my destination? Or are there bandits and BTs waiting for me? You will quickly find things like keeping your balance while walking, trying to avoid areas with potentially bad footing or steep inclines, high winds. Such seemingly boring topics will be crucial to begin with. If you fall, then you'll damage the goods you're carrying. You may even destroy them completely or lose them. The game does a fantastic job of convincing you how bad it is to damage even the most trivial item. Every single thing you carry will either be a piece of equipment you need or something that means something to someone. The stakes are high and it's presented to you really well. Then add to that, what if you come across BTs or bandits? Initially your only option is to creep through, try not to be seen. Hold your breath when you're near to the BTs and creep past, or find somewhere to hide and evade the bandits on your way. The game gives you a sense of tension when in these situations, the feeling of helplessness and desperation. The frustration of being caught out or losing and breaking something you needed or wanted to deliver. Again, this is deliberate. It's tied to the payoff. This all becomes a balancing act, both figuratively and literally. You're trying to keep your balance with gear on your back, and you may be chased. If you run and you're carrying too much, or your stamina is low, or your boots are worn out, then you're more likely to unbalance, fall and be caught. Have your precious items stolen or broken. It is tense. It is a struggle, especially early on. When things go wrong, they can escalate very quickly, but despite the tension and also because of it, then comes the payoff. You reach the summit of your most recent challenge and see that the destination is in reach. And not only that, it looks easy to navigate. The soundtrack for this game is incredible, and at key moments a song will begin. The camera angle will change to give you a panoramic view, and you get that feeling of being on home straight, and the sense of achievement really hits home. In these moments the game really shines. The sense of relief is incredible. There is also a melancholy feel to some of these moments. The music is so good and you're likely to feel both joy and a sense of sadness at the same time. At least, I did. In terms of the progression, Death Stranding is very good at making you feel rewarded. Initially, that feeling of helplessness is almost crippling, but as you progress deeper into the game, this is where a number of things begin to shine through. First of all, there is a way to fight back against the BTs, terrorists and bandits, and the disconnected feeling of loneliness. Death Stranding did a couple of things really well in my opinion. As you progress into the game, you'll begin to connect various areas of America back together. Once you claim back an area and add it to the chiral network, you'll be able to build things like bridges, watchtowers and power terminals. Not only do these things help you on your journey, but they also become available to other players once they have unlocked the region too. There is a strong element of social media here too. Other players can show their appreciation for your efforts. You'll receive likes from people you have helped on their journey, even if all you were able to make at the time was assign to warn off players from dangerous areas. Even though you won't see the other players in person, there is a constant reminder that they're there and that they can help you, and you can help them if you choose to. You can pick up items which have been dropped by other players, and you can either take them to the nearest postbox or safe place, or you can finish the job for them. Get that package to where it was needed and increase your reputation, which comes with a number of rewards. I mentioned earlier there is a way to fight back, and this is where the combat comes in. You see, as you progress further into the game, you don't have to simply run and hide the entire time. Personally, I'm not a fan of hiding. I hate it when I don't have the opportunity to push back, especially when the stakes are so high. The combat in the game is done really well. While it's not as constant as other games you might play, the feeling of satisfaction after so much struggle, after feeling helpless and tense for so long, is incredible. Again, this has been done deliberately. When you are able to fight back, the combat is cathartic and so satisfying, it feels impactful. You will eventually be given the choice of lethal and non-lethal combat. You can stealth in to secure your objectives, or you can, like me, rush in and start taking people down with the overwhelming feeling of relief that you can fight. Even if you lose, it's better than running. You will begin to uncover technology from areas you unlock. You will gain access to vehicles to help speed up your journeys and increase your carrying capacity. You can steal back items from bandits and terrorists and use those things to build things which will help other players tread this path. All the while you're building up your connections, the technology you have access to help you carry more for longer, to make those seemingly impossible tasks that little bit easier. You will still have to make each first journey into unknown territory alone, because until you have unlocked a new area, help from other players will not be available to you, but once you do, you'll find ladders or ropes in unexpected places, knowing at that moment that another player has been right where you are now and thought enough to leave a little help in their wake, which will inspire you to do the same. You will build up your connection to your BB and find out more about the mysteries surrounding it. The backdrop of this horrifying story and almost insurmountable challenge is offset with hope and connection. The game is beautiful and the music is inspiring. It has a feeling of depth I've not felt since I played Nier Automata. If you enjoy a game that will make you experience genuine feelings, then this is a game for you. If you enjoy games which give you a sense of connection to other players without needing to physically play the game with them to know that they're there, this is a game for you. If you enjoy a game with an original story, great voice acting throughout, and some very surprising plot twists, then this is a game for you. And if you enjoy a game with incredibly satisfying combat, which is made more so by the fact that it's infrequent and the tension and risk is so high, then this is a game for you. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please leave me a like and comment before you go. Sub if you're new, I'll wrap it up there. Thank you for watching, take care, stay safe, bye bye now.